Welcome back to Bay Sunday. Our political expert, Melissa Griffin Caen, had an opportunity to talk to Congressman Eric Swalwell on all things politics, of course, from the Bay Area to Capitol Hill. Let's take a listen.
So recently the Democratic Party has come under fire. The big number out now is that the average age of Democratic Party leadership at 64, I believe, is the age that I saw. Now you are a younger member, of course, maybe the youngest in the Democratic caucus.
The youngest Californian.
The youngest Californian. Yeah. Okay. So in your estimation, does it matter that the party leadership is so much older, and is that part of why we saw so few young people turning out to vote this last time?
I think right now a big problem is that young people are not engaging. They are very apathetic. They don't see why their engagement can make a difference, and that really does concern me, especially here in the Bay Area. We have so many young entrepreneurs, so many people in this innovation economy who really rely on government to make decisions that are going to enable that, but they're not participating, and that really does concern me. So when you look at the leadership in Washington, D.C., I think it's part of my responsibility to really stand up and represent the millennial generation and the generation that wants to make sure that they have access to a higher education, that when they get their degree, there's going to be a good job for them out there. And so in the congressional leadership, I don't think it is as important how old the leadership is. I think it's the mindset. Do you represent the mindset that is really defining this new economy? And that's a mindset that I think is one that's collaborative and more horizontal rather than top-down, vertical. Nancy Pelosi asked me this week to serve, Leader Pelosi asked me to serve on a leadership committee that will advise her. And so I think giving me a seat at the table and a voice for my generation shows that she's going to work in a collaborative way. And so I do appreciate that.
Oh, well, that's good to hear. So you just got reelected for the first time. I'm so fascinated by what it must be like to be a young congressman in Washington, D.C. Is there, I picture like a grizzled old veteran calling you aside and showing you how things work. Is that the case? Has somebody taken you, or more than one person taken you under their wing to sort of show you the ropes down there?
Congressman George Miller, he just retired. He's got a few more weeks before he is in retirement. He served 40 years, and he came to Congress about the same age that I did. And I'll never forget my first day in Washington, D.C. for orientation. He found me, among the members and came up to me. And I had run against one of his friends, Congressman Stark. And George Miller said to me, he said, "Eric, I want you to know that, you're one of the younger ones here. You ran against one of our colleagues, but you're not half a member. You're not 3/4 of a member. You're a full member here, and I don't want you to feel like you don't belong, because you belong here." And so he's taken me under his wing in many ways, but I went there a little sheepish, not knowing what to expect, wondering if I was going to be an outcast. And the way that George Miller took me in and advised me and helped me, I really did appreciate. And it was really a little sad when he announced he was retiring, but he said he felt ready to pass this on to the next generation. And so I felt like he's given me the tools that I need now to lead. I don't know if it's going to be for 40 years. He's got a long term of service, but I do think that he has helped me get ready to lead the next generation.
Well, that's really nice. What's the most surprising thing that you learned when you got there? What's something that you were really taken aback by or thought was really weird?
Biggest surprise for me since being there is, frankly, how poorly we treat our veterans. Our office works on hundreds of veteran cases, and I knew that the system was really overloaded, but when you talk to the veterans in our district, it's so frustrating because they kept their end of the bargain. They went and served their country, and then they come back home and the resources are limited, the wait times are long, the care is not the quality we expect. And so that's really, I think, one of the biggest surprises. And this is, again, where I'm trying to I think we can use technology to better serve, especially our Afghanistan and Iraq veterans. If you tell them you have to call and make an appointment, or you have to go down there and make an appointment, they're like, we don't do anything over the phone anymore. I don't even know if I don't even know what the ring sound is on a phone. I mean, they text, they use their mobile devices to make appointments and, get things done. And so, just really, I think, representing that generation is important to me, and pushing government to be more tech savvy.
Okay. Well, before we go, I do want to ask you about the immigration issue. We know the president recently issued his executive order. Wanted to ask you quickly, what do you think of that use of power? You're an attorney. You understand sort of the legal underpinnings or not of this, and how you see this issue playing out in Congress.
We are a great country of opportunity and prosperity because we have embraced immigration, not because we have turned immigrants away. And right now, with 12 million undocumented people in our country, I think what the president did was he said to them, he can't make them citizens with this executive order. Only Congress can do that. But what he can do with the discretion that he has is allow them to not live in fear. And I can't imagine what it's like every morning to get up and not know if this is the day that you're going to be deported from our country, to drive by a police officer on the road and cower or fear that you could be pulled over for a brake light not working, or going a little over the speed limit, and all of a sudden you're going back to your country of origin. So I think what he's done is limited. It allows them to be here in a deferred way until hopefully Congress passes an immigration bill. We have to pass an immigration bill. The Senate, with almost 70 votes, passed a bill that puts immigrants on a roadmap to citizenship, where if you take a background check and pass it, you pay a fee. Over a certain period of time, you can become citizens. Now it's time for the House to do that, and the president's limited in what he can do, but I think taking that fear away from people is very important.
Well, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you.
For Bay Sunday, I'm Melissa Griffin Caen.
Thank you, Melissa. He's got Bay Area roots, and he's been here before. He's sitting in the chair right over there. Up next, comedian Hannibal Thompson when we come back. Stay right there.